Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro Wheelbase and Precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome to the Late Apex, presented by myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside David Sampson. We're here from the Apex Racing TV esports studio, and we're going to be discussing updates when it comes to Le Mans Ultimate, a couple of big things coming from Le Mans Ultimate, which are largely positive when it comes to the sim. Also news on AC Evo, we've got some Asetek news, some Simagic news, of course the PESC finale, and us reviewing on that, and everything else that's been going on with Apex Racing Team. How are you, David?
I'm good. Got my coffee. We're talking about sim racing.
Coffee is unusual for you on this show.
It is.
Are we going to see a different David today, you think?
It's the David that forgot to grab an energy drink.
And you thought, takes much less time to make a coffee?
I could have drove, but I couldn't
So
be
there was
bothered.
no energy drinks. We've got some BAMs next door.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, that means sending you.
Of course, yeah, you couldn't do that, could you? For those who aren't
You
aware,
seemed
I am
busy.
his butler around here, so
Yep.
takes up a lot of my work hours. Let's discuss Le Mans Ultimate then, the biggest news. We've got a couple of different elements when it comes to this, but let's first talk about their cash investments. They have had $2.5 million invested into the company. They've been wanting this deal for a while. They've been stating intent for new owners since October last year, so it's taken many months for this to come over the line. And the investor themselves is Pimax, who are a VR manufacturer, a Chinese company who have been around for about 10 years. Probably certainly not a household name yet. But yeah, it's very positive for Le Mans Ultimate, and for Motorsport Games, that's where this investment has come into. It's Motorsport Games who own Studio 397 and Le Mans Ultimate, and it very much secures the future of the game for at least a couple more years.
Yeah, I mean, we knew the money had come in. It looked like it was going to stay anonymous for a little while. I think while they just cleared up and tied up the announcement, but then, yeah, we were made aware it was Pimax. So for those who are unaware, Pimax are... it's hard to describe. They're the best, but only in quality. They're very expensive. You know, if you could sim race, it's catch-22. If you could sim race using any VR headset, Pimax is it. The problem is, sim racing itself is already quite a sweaty esport, and this is by far the biggest headset you're ever going to wear. But it does. I mean, it boasts. I mean, last specs I saw, I think on the new version, was 4K in each eye, very high refresh rate, and very good lenses with a wide field of view. We've talked on this channel a lot about how to get sim racing into every home. And like we've always said, triple 32s, a big steel rig, all this stuff, that's not the future. That's what we PC £2,000 GPUers do. It's never the mainstream. I can see an argument for VR being the mainstream, of course, because obviously you get that immersion. You don't need all the screens. You can
much more space efficient.
And we're seeing rigs. Well, we're not. I wanted to say we're seeing rigs come down in price and practicality, but they're not. They keep.
There's more choice.
There is too much choice, and not really focusing on the answer. But yeah, this is good. I mean, is it a lot of money for a game this size with the competition and license costs? No. Is it helpful? Of course. Like, this ties up a lot of loose ends for them, gives them more scope, can plan further into the future. I always say if you're always planning short term, your long term never looks good. If you can take a breath and think further down the line, your company's much more safer. If you're trying to always just, how can we get cash now by squeezing our users, it's never good. Whereas if you can now think ahead, and yeah, that's some of the stuff we're talking about now, because ELMS has been mentioned again. I mean, we haven't heard this.
Was it mentioned?
Nah.
Because I think Stephen Hurds, in an interview, I think it may have been Retraction, said that we've improved our relationship with ACO and World Endurance Championship even further, which you've taken and other people have taken very much as this is a sign of ELMS, which I think is, as long as the game continues, as it looks like it will do, is an inevitable step. But yeah, hopefully it will come sooner rather than later.
I've pressed them a million times about this ELMS, and they've never said no.
Yeah. Well, they've got the license, right?
Yeah.
So
well, I think it's partnered under.
Sure.
If anyone's going to get the license, it makes sense that Le Mans Ultimate do. I mean, as far as change, what does it really add? Silverstone and an LMP3.
I
if we
think it's
get
got some
Wheelbase.
extra tracks. I feel like Red Bull Ring is there, so maybe 2 or 3 other European circuits.
Yeah,
maybe.
so it is a good. It would be a good brand, a good. Yeah, it would be really good for the games. I mean, I don't want them to go too horizontal because their strength is verticality and focusing on what they do well and make it better. iRacing, it's very difficult for them to always make Skip Barber better because it's one of these millions of things horizontally they have to manage. So I think what they're doing great. Yeah, it's really exciting. And obviously, you read about the 24-hour test event?
Yeah, so they completed a 24-hour test event recently with a mixture of their development team members and their alpha testers as well. And from what I could see, it seemed to go successfully. Of course, that's going to be a big change in next month's release when I think they've got the 2 remaining GT3 cars. They've got Qatar, and then we're also going to have the first of the driver swaps being introduced. So you're going to be able to change driver at pit stops.
So the GT3s are the Lexus and the Lambo?
I think that, yeah, I think that's right, yeah. They've also got a new GT3 tyre model, so something that they already released a new tyre model back in February, and they said, okay, this is the tyre model, and then we're going to roll this out for the prototypes. However, they've said, well, we've got some more feedback when it comes to real-life drivers, and so we're going to update the GT3 tyre model again, and then pause the updates when it comes to the prototypes for a little while. I haven't got a quote actually, but I did also see some stuff about them baking to bring back Le Mans Ultimate, which Virtual Le Mans,
Yeah,
which
it was.
we have been talking about for like a year. They've been openly about it. You know, we want to bring this back sooner rather than later. But
I think it was mentioned in their financial. I think the Virtual Le Mans was mentioned again in their upcoming investor finance sheets. So we know they're keen. Obviously, last time, was it 3 years ago? How long ago was it now? Was it longer?
3 years ago since
The last Virtual Le Mans.
Oh, yeah, start of 23. So 2 and a bit years ago.
That was just the one split, right? The one event. Yeah. Obviously, we're hoping this one would be, sure, the hype and the broadcast and amazingness is top split. It wouldn't even be top. Would it be by skill? It wouldn't be, right? Because are they going to make Max Verstappen if he just grind?
Well, you can have that's something that I've always thought when it comes to iRacing. Yes, iRacing is a thing, but I'd still have invitational drivers to top
Actually,
split.
they did this. The last MS charity event that they've always done, that I'm a previous winner of, top split. I had Gustavo on my team. They made top split the invitational it was hard to explain. Like, top split on skill was not the one broadcasted and everything. It was.
And was that still part of the officials?
I don't know. I don't know. It was really weird though, because I expected it to be top split based on skill, not on content creator.
Yeah,
they're the worst.
Yeah, awful people.
Yeah, no. So I assumed there would be quote unquote 2 events. The Virtual Le Mans event where the money, the sponsorship, the teams, the drivers are in, and then the other one that's literally how we have events now, split by rating.
Yeah, that would make sense because we've always had the championship as well. Because before it was a lot of money to enter into the championship to get into Virtual Le Mans. I want to say it was like was it like £2,000 or something, like 1,500 quid, £2,000, to enter into the series, and then that was a certain number of rounds, and then the finale was at Le Mans for the 24 hours. So we'll see if they. I'm not sure if they will do, because they've sort of spoken quite negatively about esports, haven't they, last year, where they sort of said we're not aiming for that 1%, we're aiming for the 99%. So yeah, maybe they will reject the idea.
But all these big sponsors and names, and Mercedes and MSI and all these big names, they care about the top 1%. So
yeah,
you're not going to be like, no, we don't want your money.
Yeah.
We're going to broadcast Split 9.
Yeah. We'll see how they work it out. It might still be a while away, because they were talking about potentially bringing it back last year.
I hope
that
all
was nowhere near. They didn't even have the GT3s.
Yeah, I hope all they meant by that was that everyone's welcome to do it. This time, next time round, there'll be unlimited splits. If you and a group of friends want to take part in the Virtual Le Mans 24, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, it'll be about the 1%.
Yeah.
I really tried hard to get into that the last virtual 124. I found out about it quite late, and I spent days behind the scene trying to just any team. Didn't work out, but I got close a few times.
Sure. Yeah.
One team, I literally wormed my safe into the point where they were like, and they were asking me questions, and then they found out. So RF2 experience. I'm like,
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yes, the second one, isn't it? Yeah, not the first one. Yeah.
And they were like, no, we're not after a content creator, we're after someone fast. I'm like, oh well.
Well, I know a few names, I guess. I can pass them on.
I can practice. If you want me to run a couple of laps before I jump in.
Thomas Hansen in chat making a very good point that bottom split is hilarious when broadcasted, and I do agree.
Yeah, what's his name? Bottom. Is it Bottom Split? Is it the Twitch name Bottom Split?
Yeah,
just
someone,
broadcasts.
yeah.
Some of them are hilarious. Some of them are hilarious. Not for the right reasons, but hilarious nevertheless.
Well, I think we can move on now from the Mon Ultimate, but very good signs coming from that.
Yeah, it's not long we have to wait now, right? May, I think they mentioned everything's going to be kicking off, so
I think so, yeah.
Soon.
Let's talk about AC Evo next, because I think that'll be the thing that people care about. The bit that I saw was that, and they've got a lot of tracks confirmed. So, of course, they've already got a few tracks as part of AC Evo, part of their open beta, I guess they're part of now. That's the stage that they're currently in. But they also confirmed a couple of new circuits. So they've got Donington Park and Red Bull Ring coming. They've also got Kota coming next
Everybody's favourite
week. Yeah, everyone, of course, adores Circuit of the Americas. And, of course, they've got a bunch of others as well already in the game. I mean, just looking at the graphic that we were seeing before, it's quite an impressive roster that they have, albeit now that I'm looking twice at it again, those are the different layouts of the circuit. So there's not quite as many as maybe it first appears, but yeah, we've got 3 more coming very, very soon.
Yeah, I mean, we'll cover their video in a minute, but it just... This is one of the most experienced sim racing companies there are, Kunos, right? They've had AC for forever. They've had ACC. They polished that into a esport title and attract big brands. I think it almost feels like, I mean, like that phrase "from the ground up" that gets hype. Yeah, okay, but maybe don't go from the very ground.
Yeah,
to the point where everything feels broken. But yeah, they're mentioning. So in the video we'll cover, basically the theme of the video is apologizing. They got it wrong. They misunderstood. They didn't nail the mission. It felt like an online-only game because I don't know if you remember, the download size was quite surprising. It wasn't as big as I thought. Then all their servers crashed, and then you couldn't access any of the content because we were going to let you download it. It's like, yeah, but I can't. Your servers are down. And this was an ongoing problem for a very long time. It actually got quite bad. Even in the license test, which is fully local, if their servers went down during your lap, it just invalidated your lap. Like,
sure.
I didn't do anything wrong. You guys did. I mean, there was a whole host of things. But yeah, let's roll the video.
I think audio might be coming through, but I'm not sure if we can hear it.
Okay.
But
check.
Well,
here is the video.
It can be a good thing when developers are willing to listen.
And yeah, of course, was released a few months ago. I think it was back in January that AC Evo first came out. And yeah, if you want to check out this video, it is on the Asetek official YouTube channel.
Yeah, they just go over everything. Literally, they want to change for the next update, things they got wrong, performance issues, triple screens, VR, the content that's available, accelerating that, working on the tyre model, listening to the users' feedback. Like, everything they said in the video was really good. And yeah, they mentioned a little bit more about the open world Northside thing, which everyone's pretty pumped about. I just feel, and they obviously did nod their head that this was their largest ever release on Steam, because it went really well.
Well, apparently audio is very jittery, so I'll pause the audio.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, check out the video in your own time, but yeah, we'll see. Like, they really missed the mark with this. Like, I'm sure it's going to be a good game. Again, like with Rensport, I want to know a little bit more about what is it they are planning? Like, I don't know.
What's
Is it
their
just
USP? What's their like
Yeah,
philosophy?
yeah, exactly. Are you too scared to compete with ACC and AC? Like, are you ACC? Are you trying to keep 3 games alive, or are you being like? I always come back to this, but one of the Apple's best strengths is when they release the iPad, their mission is like, go destroy the Mac. Like, make people not want that. Apple Watch, make people not need their phone. Like, it's always their mission to up their game. If you're scared of yourself, you end up with absolutely nothing. You end up trying to, fit. Like, a good example, unfortunately, I love Porsche and their cars, but when you look on their website, you can see they're manufactured to a price because they're like, build a new Porsche, but it needs to be more than the Boxster and less than the Cayman. So don't make it too, don't make it too good.
This is the perfect Porsche. We don't want anything better than this because this is fine. Just make something slightly worse.
Yeah. So you need to be careful. But
I mean, looking at all these like different game modes, obviously, and even just like the UI itself, very much looks like they're going after sort of more on like the Gran Turismo market.
And I
of
can
course,
see
that's
why.
a debate whether the physics are more simulator or simcade. Yeah. So yeah, it does look like they are going for a different market compared to ACC, which is an all-out simulator.
It's such a shame because I was, if they went with all 3, open world, modding, drifting, local driving, and online esport competitions, and bring over they have the GT3 light. Was it the what's it called nowadays? Used to be Black Pain, now it's
Fanatec. If it's not called Fanatec anymore, they lost the sponsorship.
Yeah,
but
SRO.
SRO. Yeah.
They even announced, we're not taking SRO from ACC. My response to that was, why? Why? This is your new game.
Yeah.
This is what everyone's working on. Why would you say that? I don't know. I'm excited for the title. It really does look stunning. They keep mentioning performance updates because it really, it way missed the mark. It's the only sim I chose to run in single screen through all of my content, all my testing and driving, which was a lot of hours. And people berate Rennsport. I can run Rennsport in triples, and it runs fun. AC Evo, I couldn't hold 70 FPS in triples. Well, unless it looked like Minecraft. So we'll see what they're cooking. I think there's an update due very soon, actually. I skipped the last update. I was impressed. I enjoyed the license grind. I really did. It was quite fun. There was some dumb oddities about it. Like, I found the Brands Hatch one. They're all from a standing start, and some of the cars don't suit standing start. So to be honest, everything they were trying to teach you didn't matter because none of that mattered. Mastering the standing start was worth so much more than do I apex early or late. It was that kind of strange,
Sure, yeah.
where they hadn't really. It was a nice idea, but executed very poorly.
Let's next talk about just a quick word on F125, just a couple of odd bits that I noticed. Well, I say I noticed. I saw it on Traction, noticing it. F125 includes F3 drivers, if people are too bothered about that. But strangely, it's not all of them, yeah. So it's only 4 are available at launch. I think this is quite a big series as well. It's something like 25 drivers or something, 24 drivers in F3. And you can only get them if you've got the iconic Dulux edition. So make sure to get that version of the game if you want those 4.
And does the money go directly to the F3 driver? Do we get that confirmed in writing?
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be nice.
Well, all their parents are millionaires, so they probably don't need the money. But
they've spent all the millions getting this far.
Yeah, they previously were millionaires. They are now in debt. The F3 cars aren't in the game though, obviously. So you just got the F2 and the F1. But I believe you have like driver swaps, don't you? So I think maybe the F3 drivers can get into the F1 cars in career mode. I believe, but I'm not entirely sure about that.
I'm not sure.
Also, you can race as some of the F1 sim racing drivers.
What?
But not all of them. So I think Brendan Lee is there. But
Good.
Some of our recent champions aren't there for some reason. Otmir is there. Who's the champion before Otmir?
Was Freddie champion?
Maybe Well, one of them wasn't available, basically. It was one of the big players was not available. Which is just a bit weird that there's no F3 cars, and yet you can drive as F3 drivers.
So I should play this more, because then they might add streamers into the game, and you can
well,
play
that's
as your
the next
favourite
step,
streamer.
right? Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
There was a decent point, or I say a questionable point from Luca Monroe, who posted on overtake.gg, saying whether historical tracks is what the F1 franchise needs in order to bring players back. Do you think historic tracks and maybe to a certain extent historic cars are the way to go?
I don't know. I had a £49 a month option where I can race people only paying that much, so that at least they're not kids who don't care. Like,
Sure.
and you have to pay for damages of the car. That'll make online lobbies good.
Yeah.
Damage your car, 40 quid to fix it.
Yeah, or you just can't play for a week.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know what the F1 get. These aren't they don't follow Alpha, so they're just advertising, sales. This is bought by parents for their kids. Like, this doesn't need. I don't know what this game needs. It's huge, and it uses, some of the biggest names. The Max Verstappens, the Lewis Hamiltons, and the Mercedes. Like, this is a huge franchise. So I have no idea if historic tracks are even cared
I
about.
don't think it would work. I think the reason why I think we think historic tracks would work is because they've been so rare. Like, they've been in 1 or 2 games, and it would be like, oh, that was such a good element. I think if you did it every game, that people would just get bored. There's already 24 tracks on there. Having an extra 3 historic ones isn't going to make much of a difference.
The only bit that ever involves us is the F1 esports, which I enjoy watching, but it's clear F1 does not care. Like, what was it, 2 years ago? It was that finally found out the cars aren't equal. A Haas and a Mercedes are different. Like, and this took the organisers of F1 esports didn't know about this. Like, it'd been going on for a very long time. And I don't think they've ever. Yeah, I don't think F1's ever cared too much about it. The F1 esports.
Yeah. They give them their YouTube and Twitch login details. Yeah, you can stream it on there, and then that's it. See you next year.
Yeah. Console users, controller players, televisions. This is the big audience for them, and I don't see why it would ever change.
Asetek have got an Easter sale.
Yep. Why not? It is the time for sales.
I also saw, I didn't make notes of it, but I saw it on my YouTube theme. I also didn't watch the video for it. But the CEO of Asetek, not apologizing, but explaining how US sim racers would have to pay more money. It seemed very much like, when YouTubers do like a sit-down video, and it's like, guys, I need to be serious for a moment. I'm just going to talk to the camera for 2 minutes. It looked a bit
after
like
this short advert.
After this short advert. Thanks to our sponsors. But let's talk about Asetek.
Yeah, just money off for Easter. 'Tis the time for giving, apparently. I like the orange buttons. Yeah, if you scroll down a little bit more, there. So
okay, sure.
I know you're stuck for Christmas ideas for me. I want them.
Sure.
I don't own an Asetek wheel.
€15 not that much, so I'm willing to pay for that. I think you're worth.
Oh, thank you.
But an Easter present is questionable, though. I mean, who's getting people Easter presents?
I know, I hope not. Yeah. So it's just noticeable. There's not many sales going on at the moment. So if you are looking for, some of their stuff is well priced, but they are going for the ecosystem angle. It's clear, they've aspired to be more like Fanatec than. It was a good time. They became Fanatec when Fanatec stopped being Fanatec. So it was good timing. Really good timing.
Simagic have also got some wheelbases.
Yeah, this is a good. I liked this. Someone let me know when I was live. The prices are insane. Now, I don't know about tariffs and VAT and shipping, yada, 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 but at the base price for the 9 new, like, they're not, 9's not bad. Like, it's a good low number. 399 for the 9, 549 for the 12, 699 for the 18. But the deal you should definitely click on is the Evo Sport with the 9, top right one. So this is, if I was getting into sim racing, like in prices like this, it's insane to me that 648, you get yourself a Formula rim with RPM lights, buttons, encoders, and a DD. Yeah, absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's good value.
So yeah, Simagic Alpha Evo.
And of course, you can upgrade that wheelbase as well. Is it one of the upgradable ones, or is it, you know, as it is?
I'm not sure.
Because I mean, all these wheelbases look the same. No, actually, do they? Have we got a different photo here?
I'm not actually sure. It's a really good question. I didn't think it was. They didn't mention it.
I mean, the 9 and the 12 look like it's the same image on their website. The 18 is a different image, but it looks the exact same still.
We are looking.
But of course, that's something similar that what VRS do, where they have, I think, 9, 12, 15, 18, and 20, I want to say.
It isn't. I don't think it is.
Oh, it's not the same wheelbase. Okay, so yeah, you would not be able to upgrade in that case if you bought the lower version. By the way,
does
welcome
look
to Craig.
You are right. It does look like the 9 and 12 are the same, and then the 18 is definitely heavier, slightly different dimensions. But no, it doesn't look like you can upgrade and change between.
Sure.
No. But yeah, Simagic are doing a lot of good, and this is a very well-priced DD. I don't know what the software like. They did mention about force feedback evolved and new filters and zero coggin tech. I mean, I haven't had coggin since the... Well, I never noticed the Fanatec DD2 because I tried a lot of wheelbases. I had the DD2. I never thought of it as notchy. Really didn't. Then I went and used like the VRSs and the Simacube 2 Pros, and I instantly noticed that this signal felt cleaner. There you go. That's the best description.
Sure.
Not that the Fanatec felt... It didn't. But the force feedback coming from them two were just a cleaner signal. It's the best answer I can give. It's very hard to describe. Because there certainly are settings that you can run on your wheelbase to make it feel notchy. But yeah, I think 399 for a 9 Newton meter. Because we're seeing a lot of DDs come in cheap, but at the 2 and 5 Newton meter, which is I never recommend. Yeah. I've always said 11. Like, I could probably live if I had to with 11. I think if I was sponsored or whatever to run a 9, I think the second the sponsorship end, I'll change it.
Sure.
Like, I think 11 I could live with. I think I always use the example, but Porsche Carp in the rain at Silverstone, 9 Newton meter, it's going to be a big ask.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be very light hands to get the most out of it, I feel. But yeah, really good prices.
Let's next talk about PESC and the season finale. It was at Le Mans. And it was Cooper Webster. He managed to take his first ever PESC trophy. Congratulations to him. He managed to win it with a race to spare. He ended up having a bit of a rubbish race, actually, at the end. But his sprint race was very strong. And there you can see the final standings with Cooper beating out Jordan. By the way, I think that's 5 points closer than... Oh, there you go. That's the points there. Don't look at these points. Look at these points. So 379 points for Cooper Webster, 365 for former champion Jordan Caruso, 315 for former champion Diego Pinto. And then Luke is the only non-former champion in the top 5 because he managed to beat Seb Job, which is impressive. Seb got the better of him in PECC GB, but Luke with the better in PESC. But yeah, good result there from Cooper. And yeah, there was some good teamwork from the Red Bull guys. Or the Red Line guys, really. He's representing Red Bull, but yeah, the Red Line guys to engineer that sprint race win, and that was enough to clinch it with a race to spare.
Yeah, it was a good watch. It was a good season. It was a bit more of a fighty season. I felt like a lot more contacts and battling, and there was rain, which always made it entertaining. But no, Cooper did well. End of the day, he maximised race 2s better than anyone. That was. You can say it's unfair, but everybody knew going into the championship how the points were being decided, and he maximised that way of doing it. Whereas Luke sometimes did too well in race 1, and it hurt him in race 2. Like I don't know how to manage these. It's so difficult.
Yeah, Luke managed to finish 4th in the championship overall. Alejandro 6th. I think they'll both be quite pleased with that. I mean, Alejandro in particular has been top 10 now in PESC over the last 4 years, I think. He's been super consistent. Johan in 11th, he might be a bit disappointed with that. And Luca, of course, missing out on the top 15, which is very significant because he'll have to re-qualify now for next year. Unless someone drops out, it might be that one of the top 15 drop out. And I think if that happens, then someone who wasn't in the top 15 gets promoted up. So he just needs to hope that someone doesn't feel like doing PESC next year and that they announce that early enough that he can take the spot.
Contenders looks brutal.
Yeah, I mean, I think last season was maybe the toughest it's ever going to get, I feel like, because of Coanda saying, we can do this now. And so they had all their drivers do it. This year...
the set looked like fire. Like, they were cooking in Contenders.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think like 10 of the top 15 or something were Coanda. So, yeah, that was tough. And yeah, of course, those Contender Series or the qualifiers, I think, will start in September usually, and then the contenders in October and November. But yeah, congratulations to Cooper on that title win.
Yeah, considering what I was going to mention when you were showing the standings there, Sanchez also was doing what was the race he was doing at the same time?
Well, the Racing Unleashed. So.
Yeah, and by same time I mean same time.
Yeah.
Like
same
running
evening.
between rigs.
Yeah.
And obviously Johan's been doing R1, which again, I mean, that's different sims. So yeah, I thought overall they did really well. I think Luke had a really strong, I think round 1 was a complete wash for Luke.
We can get it here. Oh no, round 1 was good. I mean, he was fairly consistent, Luke, across the season. Really didn't have too many bad results.
It must have been, I can't remember who then. But no, I thought Luke had a really strong championship. And it shows with the people he was battling with. It was just race 2s, I think, where Luke fell short. But yeah, I say he had mega race 1s, and that leaves you on the back foot for a race 2. I don't know. These championships are insane how it's done. Absolutely insane. I say qualifying, longer race at a pit stop. Rather than the reverse grid second race, at a pit stop. Because then we'll get...
It's fuel saving. Yay.
Well, at least it shakes out the order.
They should just do what we do in ARA Porsche Cup, though. 2 heats, B final, A final. Over and done within an hour.
Right, okay,
Everyone can go home and get some sleep.
No reverse grids.
No reverse grids. That's how you do it. But we'll see if they ever do. They won't. They seem very, very stuck with their current format. They haven't changed it for years. ESLR1, though, that's got a new format, and that is on tomorrow. We've been having the seeding rounds. I think everything so far hasn't counted too much for the points, but now we're in the group stages where you got 4 different groups, top 3 teams, next 3 teams, next 3 teams, next 3 teams. Unfortunately, we are in the bottom group. And it's very important that you're not in the bottom group because we want to go to Saudi Arabia, and only the top 9 teams go to Saudi Arabia. So there's 4 groups of 3, so the bottom group will not get 3. You score points for each round, but you can get promoted and relegated from each group. So if we win Group 4, then we'll get promoted into Group 3. And generally, I think the aim is that we stay in Group 3 because that's where you need to be in order to qualify for Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, there's the groups. I was struggling to find this newer website, r1.rensport.gd, because it was all handled on ESL's ESL R1, but yeah. So those were the points after the seeding. So we've been put into Group 4. We are that team. Because
yeah, not Apex. If you're looking for Apex, we're not there.
Yeah, we took that. AMD at MSI. Oh my God, MSI Mercedes. I'm done. I'm good. It's over. That was actually last year, wasn't it? Anyway, I don't know. I give up.
Digging that hole.
Yeah. Keep digging.
But yeah, best of luck to the guys. It'll be a tough one. It'll be Fuji. I think it'll be a fun race actually because I think it's
all 4 of them in the same race.
All 4 of them in the same race. So 12 cars on track, and it's going to be a lot of tactics and stuff.
3 teams. That's
it. Like
in one race, it's going to be chaos, mate.
You know, ERL have done it in the past, and I always thought it was a bit rubbish in ERL, but I feel like this is maybe a bit better. The fact that it's not 2 teams, but it's 3 teams. And in fact, you got a few more drivers.
I question with the rules, like if you do put all your drivers 4 wide, and you navigate.
It's Fuji. It's too wide.
Yeah, but
if you're at Brands Hatch, then yeah, do that.
Because how do you pass? Like you got to Yeah, there's a lot of overtaking rules. Well, there's never going to be space.
Yeah.
Be difficult for the drivers to drive. A bit of netcode and all of them are out.
Yeah, yeah.
But worth a shot. So if they haven't practiced it, give it a try.
I'm trying to think if you could do that at any of the tracks. Road Atlanta, maybe?
Yeah,
Could
possibly.
maybe give it a go.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd like to, you know, you got to get creative in this, and I'd respect, if someone did that to us, I'd respect them. I'd go, you know what? You deserve that.
No, I'd just get the whoever the slowest driver in the team is, just say, punch a hole in that. And they just go at the end of the straight. He gets a pen, obviously, but
Yeah.
us
But
three.
if you can take out all four
Yeah.
in one go,
Yeah, exactly.
bowling ball, or dominoes,
Punch
then,
a
yeah,
hole.
it'd be great.
Yep.
We've got the PECC GB finale on Sunday. It's from Brands Hatch.
Oh, wow.
There's not too much to decide in the championship.
Are you going to be there for this one? You wasn't there for the last one?
No, I was there for the last one. I wish I wasn't. I'm not going to be there for this one because I'm at my nephew's birthday party, which I'd much rather be at than drive the Porsche again. But the title is decided. Seb Job has won the title.
Shocker.
Luke is second. That's not going to change. Leo is third, and Pete is
Excellent.
fourth. So Pete, if he can have a good round, which, judging by this season for Pete, it's not going to happen, he will be able to potentially leapfrog Leo, because he's had the edge on Leo
Yeah, but not in race 2.
in race 1, but it's just race 2 he's scored a handful of points. So we'll see how that goes. When it comes to my championship contention, there'd need to be like some
Serious
hate
disqualification.
crimes, I think, committed by the other drivers towards the admins themselves in order for me to get promoted and get that nice day out at the Porsche Experience Centre at Silverstone. So I'm not ruling it out, but
Yeah.
we'll see if that happens. So do tune in for that on Racespot TV on Sunday. When it comes to, there won't really, well, I can maybe have a look at ARTV clips because we had a very entertaining wet race in the prototypes at Long Beach on Monday, which was chaos. But in ARL, we've only got 9 spots left in ARLTC Britain 2025.
Oh, nice.
It's 51 slots.
When's that start up? We'll be broadcasting it next...
So it's on Thursday, yeah.
Next week?
Yep.
Nice.
So there's 51 slots and we've filled 42 of them. So if you want to sign up, probably do it in the next few days because, I mean, yesterday we had one team just enter like 6 drivers in one go. So it can, those spots can very easily, quickly get eaten up. Hopefully we will max out the grid, but frankly, I think 42 is maybe enough on the circuits that we are going to. We've also got 12 more spots in Porsche Cup. That's definitely going to fill up because that's a maximum of 60 and we've currently got 48 drivers. And that's only been open for just over a week. So do make sure to sign up to that very, very quickly, certainly by the end of the week. Otherwise, you're not going to get in. I can probably find 1 or 2 clips from Long Beach in the wet, but it was just crazy. This is maybe a demonstration of how tricky it was out on circuit. I do just have to play an advert quickly. But then we
I'm
should
just
be
looking at this TCR series. The tracks, really nice choices.
good. It's all the BTCC circuits. But yeah, here was the instant for Turoshki. It's just the start-finish straight, right? Nope.
What?
You
What was that white line?
Oh, like, so I was unsure because I spent the whole, so I wasn't commentating, I was broadcasting, but I was still chatting to the drivers or to the commentators. This isn't good enough picture quality to see if you're seeing a line, but I kept on saying to them, "Oh yeah, he's just gone off because he's hit a white line," and I said that probably about 10 times. But it's Long Beach.
Yeah.
It's all lines. You're not going
Yeah.
to be able to avoid a line. You're always going to be on a line. So
It's very difficult. And it does feel crazy unrealistic. I remember Monza racing officials there all week. The white line that comes out of pit road.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so you're bumming down to T1. And there's a lot of drafts, so a lot of side-by-side action. And if you're then behind a 2-wide, or even if you're 2-wide yourself, it's very hard to see that white line not only come out, but then where it goes. Because one tyre's bad enough. If you put 2 tyres on that thing, you got... And now your braking zone's coming up real fast. So not only have you got to get off it, you've got to somehow slow... Oh, my God. The amount of people you see bowling behind you, absolutely insane.
Yeah, it is super, super tricky. Glyn asking in chat, I'm not sure if, Glyn, you've signed up yet. Hopefully you have done, because you've done plenty of previous seasons of Porsche Cup. Who's commentating Porsche Cup? It is going to be us. It'll be a studio broadcast from the studio, obviously.
A studio broadcast
yeah,
from the
because
studio.
I got halfway through that sentence, yeah, and then I didn't know where I was going.
So,
yeah.
and there's no pressure because you know I'm always going to jump on you the second you say something wrong.
I realised, oh no, he's not
Here
going
it
to let this
comes.
one down. So it's on Thursday nights. So do make sure to do that. And yeah, Glenn confirming that he has signed up, as well as the other THR guys, like Nick Horn, obviously. So
Nice.
rooting for Nick on that one, who is known for being last in those races. And that sounds being harsh for me, but
He was obviously inspired by your PECC.
oh,
Tube.
come on, get off it. Do I need to show you the standings? I'm getting a nosebleed. I'm eighth, scored points.
Yeah, brilliant.
So yeah, I think that's everything that I had to say.
Yep. No, I'm looking forward to the touring car, the PECC. That's going to be great. The touring car especially. It's been a while since I've seen the cars out there. I hope we've got a good mix of... Because there's quite a few choices now. 4?
There's 4 choices. 2 of them are Hyundais.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a decent mix. Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect from the TCR Championship. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, there's not really that many. I know at least one of our drivers said, oh, I'm surprised that we got this many drivers. And yeah, it'll be really cool. So yeah, looking forward to that. But for now, we've got the broadcast later on, the season finale of ARL GT3 Trophy. So make sure to tune in for that. That'll be from 1900 GMT, 2000 UK time. And yeah, make sure to tune in for all the other broadcasts on Apex Racing TV. Tune in for next week's episode as well, where we discuss more news when it comes to sim racing. But for now, from myself and from David, we'll say goodbye.
Ciao.